guys, my name is Forrest Townsend from contentflows.io, and in this video we're going to be looking at how to actually filter out search terms that you are thinking about writing. So we're going to be using a completely free method to do this. That's what we're going to try to base all of our kind of keyword research videos around, because I know a lot of people that are going to be watching this are going to have relatively small budgets and be niche site owners that are looking to do this on the cheap. Now, it's worth saying we've built a site to over 20,000 a month in revenue, writing our own content and using no keyword research tools. So it can be done for free, but there's a bit more manual kind of graft that's involved. But I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing, because you can really learn about what actually works without being reliant on a tool. So for this video, we're going to use an example of how to remove rust with vinegar. Now, there's a million ways you can generate search terms and keywords. So we're going to generate some in this video and then use a really quick method for free to try and filter out what's not worth writing. Now, the reason you want to do this is because you've got a finite time to write content. And if you're a relatively new site or a niche site, we work here at Content Flows with a lot of sites that are relatively small and want to buy content from us. Obviously, we recommend getting the most bang for your buck, and we want you to either purchase content or write content yourself that you could actually rank for. When we're looking at the SERPs, take into account your domain authority first. So if you're unsure, there's a free trial of something, or a free account of something called Moz. And there's a Chrome extension called Mozbar, which you can see I've got here at the top. That's going to tell you your domain authority and how many links you've got. This is a kind of proprietary metric, and it's not a Google metric at all. It's taking into account loads of different factors, but understanding that will be great. Okay, so let's get into the video. And what we're going to do first is type in one of your search terms. So one of my search terms I'm thinking about writing an article for is how to remove rust with vinegar. Okay. Now, when you scroll down, there's something called People Also Ask, or PAA on Google. And every time you click and shut one of these, it's going to give you more. Okay. So you can create literally hundreds of content ideas by using this method, which is great, and that's what we've done before on some of our sites. But you don't want to use all of these, and I'll explain how to filter out some of these keywords. Now, if you want to do this in bulk, there is a tool called SEO Minion. You set it going and it will literally just keep opening and closing these for you. Really useful tool, and it will get you hundreds of keywords in a spreadsheet to start filtering out. Okay. So that's SEO Minion. It's a Chrome extension, and we've also got the Mozbar Chrome extension on a free account. So let's start literally from the top here with will straight vinegar remove rust? Okay, so if we then search that here in a new tab and Google will straight vinegar remove rust, we've obviously got a Google snippet here. And then we need to look at what we're actually seeing. So is this worth writing for your new niche site? Firstly, we've obviously got the Google snippet here, and then we've got video content. So to answer this query on Google, Google is obviously thinking that a YouTube video is going to be the best option as it's ranking above written content. That's an issue. So if you're not the Google snippet, think about how much real estate on the page is taken up with the snippet, People Also Ask, and then videos. You're going to have very few people scrolling all the way down to actually find an answer to the query, and it's mostly going to be answered by video content. So this is already a massive red flag. I wouldn't recommend writing this content. But let's say the videos weren't here and you wanted to potentially explore your options. Let's take a look at the Mozbar add-ons here and have a brief eyeball at what we're actually looking at. So the article ranking second here, it's got a domain authority of nearly 70, hunker.com, everyone's heard of it. And it's got 100 inbound links or backlinks to this specific article. So even if you wrote a great piece of content or paid for a great piece of content to be written, if your domain authority is 5, 6, 10 on a brand new site, maybe even less, and you've got no links, obviously, maybe 1 or 2 if you buy them, pointing at your content, you aren't going to rank above this content. It's simple. And the same here, Cleanopedia, you know, they are going to have topical authority when it comes to cleaning and removing rust, obviously. They've got a huge domain authority and 310 inbound links. We're not going to outrank that. And same here with the Spruce, which is another cleaning related website, just judging by the name. You know, they've got obviously topical authority, they've got a massive domain authority and over 500 backlinks pointing to this piece of content alone. So, you know, you were going to pay what, 50, 100, $150, whatever, to get this content written by a professional, or you were going to spend a few hours writing it yourself. There is zero chance you're going to be ranking for this on a new site or a small site or a niche site. So don't even bother. Scratch this one off your list. Now we're going to repeat this process with the next result on the people also ask list. So initially we've got the snippet, or the Google featured snippet is actually a YouTube video, which is quite rare but very interesting. So it's what do you mix with vinegar to remove rust? Simple question, being answered by a YouTube video. So let's scroll down, and there's only one video and the rest is written content. So that's a really good sign. So if we're here, you know, we're still getting traffic, which is great. So we don't have to necessarily make a YouTube video to rank for this content. And it's the same thing here, you know, this site, it's relatively recent content. I mean, we're in July now, and they uploaded this content less than 2 months ago, which is great for them, not for us. The main authority is nearly 80, nearly 400 inbound links. We don't stand a chance. Cleanopedia, again, coming up with domain authority of 70 and a huge amount of inbound links. We don't really stand a chance. Pipping marked here. I don't know if these guys will have really topical authority in the cleaning and rust removal space, but if we open, you know, there's no Mozbar snippet here, so we'll open the site, and they've got a domain authority of 30 and 50 inbound links to this page. Now that's not great, you know, it's not the most authoritative by any means. But if your domain authority is 5 or 10 or 1 or you know 0 for some sites, you know, you're still going to really struggle to outrank this piece of content, even if you write a great piece of content. And you can see here the content's pretty thin. You know, this is probably what, 600 words, maybe 500 words of content. It's got literally 2 paragraphs, a third paragraph, and a conclusion. So it's not great in terms of content quality. But the reality is the domain authority is still going to be there, and that's something that can't be overlooked. So out of the 2 options we've looked at, will straight vinegar remove rust? This is a no-go. Don't bother writing this content. You're wasting your time and your money. If you're a new site, you won't rank for this. And this second option, it's possible. You know, are you going to be the top spot or the second spot? No, realistically not. Could you take third spot here? It's possible, but it's unlikely. You know, then you've got some video content, so you're most likely going to be sitting kind of down the page, which isn't ideal. You know, we're not going to be seeing much traffic if we're 7th or 8th spot in the SERPs. And all of the sites ranking here have a very high domain authority, you know. So this is a great way to filter out content that isn't worth writing. Every time we pull a list of people also ask content, we normally filter out about 3/4 of those. So if we pull 100 potential content options, we're going to write about 20, maybe 25 of those articles. But we don't waste any time. We know our domain authority, we know the strength of our sites, and we play to that strength. So this is a must-do, I think, for niche site owners. You know, people get so discouraged when they write 100 articles themselves using these people also ask methods, and they see no traffic. But you have to do more than that. You know, you have to actually look at what the competitors are for that search query and play to your strengths. If we'd seen, you know, it from this, what do you mix with vinegar to remove rust? If we'd seen old content, if we'd seen really thin content, if we'd seen low authority sites or even forums and user generated content ranking top 3, that would be a green light for me to write that content. But we're not seeing that, and we're seeing a really competitive field, so we'd avoid writing this content. So I hope you find this useful. This is just a great way to generate content ideas and then filter those ideas out to give you the best chance of actually ranking. If you need content written, as I said previously, I'm from Content Flows. We're a really small in-house team of content writers with actual track record in writing SEO optimized content. So if you need any content written once you've done this step, please reach out or visit the site. I'll leave a link in the description, and I'll see you in the next video.